Hello, quilters. I am working on getting the tech straight. Hello, quilters. That was a little glitch. I'm back. I am looking to see if we have any comments, and then I can get started. So, hi. It's December, uh, which always seems so busy, and yet I didn't get anything done. I don't know what that is. So I know it's December. My family Christmas is early this year. We're celebrating in a couple days. So I will have about 2 weeks, a week and a half to fully, actually 2 weeks to get ready for the feather along. So I'm really excited. In my brain, it's already next year. And I know a lot of you have a lot of questions. So definitely post your questions if you have any, and I will answer them here. This is being streamed on Debbie Brown's Machine Quilting Facebook group and also in YouTube, where I hope to have the feather along go live in the new year. I hope to support the feather along with video through this platform and also through drawings on the screen as well as back and forth questions. So let me check in here. Hi, Janet. I'm glad to see you here. Thank you for letting me know the comments are working. Hi, Janet. Let me turn this off. I don't need the volume. So hello. I'm a little better, tired. I'm recovering from the plague, which is always great to get between Thanksgiving and Christmas. But anyway, no harm, no foul. So hi, I am excited about the things that I have going on in quilting next year. Now, the big things I have going on in quilting that involve machine quilting are color blocks. I'll be doing color blocks again next year, and that will be all about animals. So I'm pretty excited about that. Let's see, Carol, you said something. Oh, yeah, they do look like toes. That is true. Um, they will. And they'll look like toes again when I talk about them. That's how I teach feathers. So next year, I have color blocks going. And for color blocks, folks, this is a color block quilt. It is where I take a 16 patch made out of all of your scraps and do something different with it. So every month next year will be an animal quilt made starting with a 16 patch. 2021, I did a year worth of quilts. 2022, I did a year worth of quilts, and they were all different things. I've done spools of thread. I've done geometric shapes and stars and just had a lot of fun. I've done trees and houses. So now I'm going to do all animals. But with each pattern comes a free motion quilting video. So I hope you join in. Even if you're not planning on making all the quilts, just see what can be done with the color blocks and how you might be able to quilt them. I do try to give directions on quilting on your home machine as well as a long arm machine, because I know I have participants who work with both. Let me check comments here. Carol, thank you for loving the color blocks quilts. I love them too. And today was a perfect day for color blocks because I'm not feeling great. I'm very tired, just because I had the plague. Today is day 9, I think, of the plague. And I'm still tired. I'm recovering from this head cold. I'm getting better every day. It's not a big deal. I'm just going to take a little longer to get better. And I didn't really feel like doing anything. So I pulled out some fabric and started making color blocks for a quilt that will be out in January, which was great. That's the exact purpose of color blocks, is to cut all your fabric into scraps, because who doesn't have too much fabric? Cut all your scrap fabrics into these 2.5-inch squares, make color blocks, and then when you get a stack of them, you can make something fun out of them. So that's color blocks. Angie, if you sign up previously, do we have to sign up again? You haven't seen anything in a while. In what? There's been nothing new in feathers yet. There is a Color Blocks 2021 is one class. Then there's another class that's Color Blocks 2022. That's another class. And then there's another class that is Color Blocks Goes Wild for 2023. So you will need to sign up for each of those separately. For Color Blocks, yes, that was the answer. So yeah, each year is a separate class. And that's because I'm going to close them out and have them as separate products that people will buy in the future. If you've already signed up when it was free, it's yours to keep. You never have to buy anything. It's free for you forever. Don't worry about it. I just, instead of having it be one big thing, I divided it into separate years. So that's Color Blocks. Another thing I have going on is I'm involved with cutie quilts, which is super fun. So expect to see a resurgence of cutie quilts in the new year. A cutie quilt is made with 16 fat 8s, which is 2 yards of fabric, and it's a great way to have an experience with fabric. So a new quilter who doesn't want to put a lot of money into this hobby to try it out, a budget-friendly quilter, because you can get 16 fat 8s in a pack for under $30 and just buy some background fabric, whatever. Whereas some quilt kits cost quite a lot of money. I mean, I still shop for quilts and quilt-alongs and block of the months and things like that, and they can run into hundreds of dollars. So cutie quilts are kind of economical, and they're also good for people like me who have far too much fabric. More fabric than life expectancy, but I still want to play with something new. And I can't rationalize spending a couple $100 on new fabric, but I can buy a little cutie kit. So look forward to more cutie stuff coming up in 2023. And the last thing I have going on is I teach online machine quilting classes. Now, they are good. You can buy a class and take it at your own pace whenever you want it. But I decided that it would be fun to go through the feather class again. Let me pull up some video here. Hold on. This is where Tech and I are going to have a disagreement. Why I'm practicing all of this. I think this is right. Let's see. Let me pull it up. Looking. I don't see it. I do see it. There it is. And that wasn't it. Sorry. I'm trying to figure out how to play this. So anyway, I'm not sure what you're seeing here. I'm hoping you're only seeing a single screen, but you might be seeing my PowerPoint screen. There we go. So Quilting Essentials, Machine Quilted Feathers. It's a course I put out a while ago. Some of you have taken it. I've received great feedback from it. What I'm looking to do is to go along it with you again. It's always more fun to do this as a group. So what I'm doing is I'm going to be using this time on Wednesday nights at 7 o'clock New York time and going through each lesson with you. I might have a few new things to say about it. I might have a new quilted sample. I might have a new video. I might have a new drawing. But what I will be here guaranteed for is I'll be here to answer your questions every week to quilt along with how you're doing. Seeing a single screen now with me in the corner. Great. Thank you for that. Hello from New Jersey. Carol, I'm glad you're here. So that's what I'm hoping. That's what I plan to do with the machine quilted feathers. Now, the questions I've been getting, but what do I do to start? Well, if you've already have the class, you're ready to start, and you can start now if you feel like working ahead. If you don't have the class, you can still follow along and see what you can learn from the live sessions. Although I do recommend following along with the video because I have 10 lessons over 3 hours of video in the class. There are 9 projects, 7 patterns, something like that. There's a lot of meat in there, and there'll be even more meat in there after this, because I'll be adding if I come up with some new content, I'll add it in, which will not cost anybody any additional. If once you've purchased the feathers class, whatever you paid for it is whatever you get to keep it at. So that's what I hope to go through for the machine quilted feathers. So you can go through the class now, or you can wait until we start in January, the first Wednesday in January. So this is our feather along, January 4th to March 8th. That March 8th date could change if I get sick again or something and have to delay a week, whatever. But it's going to be tentative. But I hope to start January 4th if I don't catch the plague again. What I'm going to do is the videos that I have here will stay in the Facebook group, and they will also be archived on Facebook. So if you can't meet it live, as Heather just commented, telling me what my screen looked like, Heather's in Australia and it's tomorrow. So this is not always a convenient time for her or other people. This will be archived on YouTube and on Facebook in the Facebook group. So you will be able to follow along. I've had several requests to include YouTube, so I've done that as well. But the first lesson, we are going to be practicing just forming the feather. And the pattern in the class for you to stitch with is this. It's called a 4-minute quilt, I think, and it uses a jelly roll. So you can get started by making the quilt top. You can get started by practicing, watching, whatever you like. I made each of these and quilted them according to the video. So I recommend doing it, and I'll have a few other ideas for those of you who've already gone through this before. But we'll talk about just the shape of a feather. What is the shape of a feather? Describing it as a half a heart was never helpful to me. So I have a weird way to describe it, which somebody's already mentioned. Toes. Heather, you loved making the quilt and quilting it. Oh, I'm so glad. I did too. I actually gave these away. I don't have these quilts anymore because it was a couple years ago, but we'll see some fun new stuff I have. I'm so glad to have pictures. And that snow on the ground looks really familiar because we just got some snow. Let me go back to come say hi to you again. Hello. Hi. So if you have any questions on that, hopefully that answered your questions about what you need to get started. You can quilt this on your home machine, or you can quilt it on a long arm machine, or you can quilt it on a stationary long arm machine like I have here, a long arm in a table. This class works for all of it, and I quilt that way. I quilt on a stationary long arm, a home machine, and a long arm. So ask your questions. I'm here for you. So Jana, you may be making another jelly roll quilt. I don't know if I will, but I do have a couple jelly rolls right over there that might need to be used. The jelly roll quilt was a great way to start feathers. I thought so too. My online classes, I've been teaching online since 2014 or around there. So it wasn't new to me. Crafting an online course, teaching through video and patterns and things like that. But when the pandemic hit, my teaching career pulled the plug on that instantly. But all of the things I've learned about teaching, I've learned through 15 years of traveling and teaching 200 days a year, thousands and thousands and thousands of quilters. So I had practice on knowing how to convey information, and I've put that into a course for you. I have other courses out there, and I will go through them again. But if you'd like to take any of them, you can take them anytime you like online, and they are yours to keep. I will be doing this feather course in the first quarter of the year, and my plan is to have the second quarter of the year be feathers part 2. Which is a second feather course, because there's always more fun to play, always more fun feather things to play with. But that is my plan for how we're going to deal with the feather along in 2023. Bring your questions to this live session, and I will interact on here. You can also, leave comments in the Debbie Brown's Machine Quilting Facebook group, and I can respond to you there. So hopefully that answered some of your questions about what we have going. Carol Smith says the intro to free motion quilting is awesome. Thank you. I think so too. It's what I want everyone to know. If I was at your house with you, holding your hand when you were going, I can't machine quilt, I'm really afraid of it. It's what I would want you to know. Now, I did have some people ask, is this for beginners? Now, if you have never machine quilted before, like ever, completely afraid of it, I do recommend going through my first steps to free motion quilting, because that will get you a little more comfortable with your machine and work through the projects. Don't just watch it. You need to actually do the quilting. That class right now is geared toward a home sewing machine. I haven't added in the long arm part of that yet, but hopefully I will get a chance to do that, and we'll be going through that class again in the future. But that is always my first class I recommend to non-quilters. It covers all the basics you need to know: how hard to push the foot pedal, how do I move my hands, things like that. And you get hours of video instruction as well as a bunch of projects. So that is what I have to tell you for this week. This is a short one. I haven't decided if I'm going to be on the air next week because of that whole, I don't know, there's like Hanukkah and Christmas next week. But if I do, I'll come with you something short, and you won't miss a lot if you're not here. So nothing earth shattering. If this is the last time I see you before the holidays, have some wonderful holidays. If you get to quilt, yay. If you're giving quilts, yay. If you haven't finished the quilts that you're giving, give yourself a break, give an IOU, they'll get it later. Don't forget, people are more important than projects. So if you have a chance to deal with the people that you love, deal with them, and they can always get their presents later. So, coming to you from someone who is still feeling kind of ill, take care of yourselves. It's a tough time of year. You get run down. Take care of yourselves while you're taking care of your loved ones around you. I look forward to seeing you again. Keep in touch, and happy quilting, everyone.